Hello everyone, welcome to our thought for the week. Now this week is anti-bullying week. And Andrew and Robbie and I have been thinking a little bit about that. But we've been thinking about it by doing some bird watching. I bet that surprised you. First, we watched some work birds in my back garden. I put some bread out for the birds and we were a little bit surprised, weren't we, what we saw? Because as Robbie and Andrew and I watched the birds, some little birds came along, a blackbird and a robin. But then some big birds came along, 2 magpies and some crows, and they very quickly chased away the little birds and took all the bread for themselves. Now, of course, the big birds needed the bread, but it was quite horrible seeing a way that they chased away the little birds. We didn't like that much, did we? No, we didn't. So we decided we'd go and watch the birds in the front garden instead. I've got a bird feeder in my front garden. Have a look at what we saw. Here's the bird feeder in our front garden, and on it is a great tit. It's flown away now. We watched as the great tit came to have some of the nuts. And there's a young great tit. We were thoroughly enjoying this. But there's lots of birds in our garden. Would anyone come to share? Because these nuts are for everyone. Oh, look, a blue tit. What's happened? The blue tit was chased away by the great tit. Will it come back? Do you think the blue tit will be brave enough to come back? It really is a hungry blue tit, and those nuts are for everybody. We kept on watching to see if the blue tit would come back, and there it is. But the great tit has chased it away again. Now, the thing to remember about birds is that they do what comes naturally to them. So when we draw comparisons between the way that the birds are behaving and bullying, we have to be careful because birds are doing what comes naturally. But we have a little bit more control over our actions towards other people. Bullying is always a bad thing, and lots of people, including me, have experience of being bullied. And it makes you feel very sad and hurt inside. You wonder about your own value when people are horrible to you or mean to you or push you about. So, in anti-bullying week, our job is to see what we can do to make sure it doesn't happen. It's not enough just to say, we don't agree with bullying. What we have to do is decide, what will we do if we see someone being bullied? Well, what would you do? Robbie and Andrew agreed that the first thing they'd do is tell a teacher. Is that what you'd do? Or perhaps you might tell a grown-up you trust at home. But don't keep it to yourself. Tell somebody. What if it's you that's being bullied? All the more reason to tell somebody. When little Ruth was bullied at school, she told her mum. And her mum went with her to tell the teacher. And the teacher talked to the children who'd been doing it. And the children who'd been being bullies hadn't even realised how horrible that they'd been or how they'd made Ruth feel. And so they said sorry. It could have carried on for a long time if Ruth hadn't been brave and told her mum, or if her mum hadn't told the teacher. So it's always important to share it, not to keep it to yourself. Of course, one of the most important things is to make sure that you are not a person who does the bullying. Robbie and Andrew have helped me to think about something that is different from bullying. What do you do if you want to be the opposite of a bully? Well, You are a person who shares, not like that great tit, and who is kind. So, can you try very hard to be a person who shares and thinks hard about being kind? Last week there was a special day, and some of you in some schools thought about that special day at school. It was called World Kindness Day. And I want to give a very special shout out in this week's Thought for the Week for the children in Year 5 at Geddington Primary School. Year 5 wrote us some letters which we were very excited to get, and I've got them just here. Lots of lovely letters on lovely coloured papers. Do you want to help hold them, Robbie? Thank you. Here they all are. And they came from all the children in Year 5, and they were telling me about what they were doing for World Kindness Day and how much they enjoy Thought for the Week. So thank you very much, Geddington Primary School. Your kindness made a big difference to me and made my weekend very special. I was so happy to get your letters. They're very, very precious to me. It was really kind. Thank you. We can be kind people too. Geddington Primary School and all of you who thought about World Kindness Day and done all sorts of other kindness projects remind us that the way to stand against bullying is to do the opposite, to be kind and to share. Robbie and Andrew are sharing a cuddle with me right now, and that's rather lovely. And we're sharing our thoughts about why bullying is a bad thing. What can you share? And how can you be kind this week? Take a moment to think quietly. What will you do to be kind and sharing the opposite of bullying this week? Are you thinking? Are you thinking? Excellent. Now then, let's say a word of prayer. Dear God, thank you for helping us to be brave when we see bullying happens and to tell someone who is a grown-up and is safe. Help us to be kind and to share. Help us to be loving and supportive. And help us never to allow bullying to pass by without doing something to make it stop. Amen. Now we wish you a kind, safe, sharing week. And for all those of you who are celebrating Diwali in the course of this week, have a wonderful time and may the blessing of light be with you all. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye. Say bye-bye. Bye.